I don't either, but a lot of the guys these days wear them like that. All you know, I've always liked
Glad I
that.
brought it because I
Hi,
forgot my
everyone.
shades.
Yeah,
This
I
is
like it.
this
I
is
like
more
it.
trucker style.
So
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
No,
Okay.
this is more Okie style. I'm from Oklahoma, so.
There you go.
Okay, it's
Well,
fine.
that's why a bunch of truckers in Oklahoma.
Fine.
You know what's weird? If it's like flat, it like there's all this open space.
Right? Yeah, I don't like that.
Now,
No, but
Justin's
I've
gonna
been
ask Fred some
You're a little tilted there.
some tough trucker questions.
And these aren't like interview questions. Like I'm genuine. I have questions about the industry. Like I don't know much about it. I'm like some.
Well, I'm not in the industry currently. I'm
you
a
were in
former
it.
trucker.
Former trucker.
I still have my truck.
Nice. So you owned your truck.
Yeah,
what do you do now instead of trucking?
I'm tool process engineer.
Oh, cool.
So I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I had like a more detailed like.
Yeah, ask
Oh,
him anyway.
did you,
We'll get
were
somebody
you
in.
already qualified for that, or did you have to like reach?
Well, when I got into trucking,
Yeah.
I was 23 years old, and I was working as a maintenance technician at a factory.
Uh-huh.
And from there, I realized just how hard it was to be in trucking. I thought I would buy my first truck, put a driver in it, and I could make some money, and then I'd buy another truck. And once I had a couple trucks paid for, then I would quit my job and I'd just start trying to build my fleet.
Great.
Well, it wasn't long that I realized that you can't make money that way. You got to be the guy driving the truck. The rates are so, they're just
The margins are so low.
they're so low, right? Yeah, the margins are so low that you just, there was no money left for my efforts. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just me beating my head against the wall, always trying to pay bills, and I couldn't, keep everything paid. And I think
And it wasn't you; it was like the
after
industry. Right?
after a 3-year attempt to make a go at it, I actually was $2,000 less than I had in the bank when I started,
Wow.
and never made any money the whole time, and it was just a nightmare. And so I was just happy to sell the truck and be done with it for a while. And I wanted to be in it because I love trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So 20, 40 years later, whatever it was, I went out and had the money. As my career advanced, I had the money, and I went and bought me one just so I had it to show, take the shows and stuff.
Okay, so you
But
you're
you
more of,
understand like the industry, what they're going through.
Right, yeah, because I was in it for a
Right.
while. But I haven't been deeply in it because I only spent 3 years in the industry, not like some of these guys with 25, 30 years. So I listen to them all the time to find out what their problems are, because I'm still learning from them, because I only worked in one aspect of the industry, and it's so vast.
and that's 3 years more experience than I have.
Right,
So
exactly. And I've been around them since then. I've had friends that were truckers, and so I keep up with them. I haven't followed all the regulations because it wasn't something I needed to do.
so you were trying to be like one of those like firms that has like 10 trucks. Give or
Yeah,
take.
I saw myself as being 10, 20, 30 trucks. I just wanted to have my own company.
And
I think that's what most
is that
of these
what
guys.
most of them do?
I think most of the guys that are here truly love what they do, and want that's what they want for life.
I'm sorry, we have like a herd of kids passing by.
That's right. But generally, I know that people that participate with us, are the kind of people that, they love what they do. They want to, they just want to make money out of it. They just want to be able to make a living and be safe at it.
All right, I have a question about like the industry that you probably would know. I haven't been in it for like too long. Are there any people or groups trying to like gain market share? Like, because I know right now it's like 90% of the industry is firms that are like 10 trucks or less. Like it's just
Right.
groups. Is there anyone who's trying to like build a massive
I really don't know, because I don't follow it that much. I have my own assumptions, but I haven't done the research. But of course, you see all the mega carriers, with 15,000 trucks.
So that does exist.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. There's a lot of. If you really break it down, and I don't exactly have the numbers on this, but the mega carriers do carry the majority of the freight, and it gets a little misconstrued when you say there's a lot more. There's fewer mega companies because they got so many power units. But then when you take those power units and you divide them up amongst a whole bunch of little companies, you have a lot of little companies, which then when you look at the company ratio, yes, you have 90% of the industry is, mom and pop, small fleet operations.
Did we totally lose the audio? Can anybody hear us on it? We got the
There's
truck
only 5
behind
people
us.
watching.
Okay.
But
Go
you
ahead.
might get a little more. But okay, so you're saying that even though a huge proportion of the owners are mom and pop, the freight, like the profits are going to mega carriers.
Right. Well, the big carriers are the ones moving the majority of the freight. They have, because their fleets are so vast, you take 5 mega carriers with over 10,000 trucks, that's 50,000 trucks. Now you divide that 50,000, yeah, they
It
own
told me
it.
at 8 p.m. last night.
But then you divide those trucks, those same 50,000 up amongst a whole bunch of little carriers, and you have, it looks like, so you have all these other businesses in order to equal what one business equals.
I printed out some from the library, right?
Yeah.
It kind of, it's a from the street.
Okay. That's good enough. So, have you been working in trucking the last year or two?
You wanted me to make one of
I
those.
go process.
Do you know anything
I
about
may actually go back in.
Do you know anything about electronic logging devices? Oh, what could you because I'm not an expert.
Alright, well, the electronic logbook is just from when you turn the truck on, it starts monitoring your performance during the day, whether you're moving, stop, whatever. It can tell, it tracks you by GPS to know what you're doing, when you're doing it, and how you're doing it. And it's, in theory, it was designed to make the road safer, stop driver abuse in the logbooks. And but I think what they missed with the whole concept was that they didn't realize that when drivers change things around in the logbook, it's usually for a practical reason, not necessarily to cheat or to get more hours. It's because it made sense with how their day worked out. So but electronic logbook took that flexibility away from them. So that's why we've been really pushing the FMCSA
Sound is low.
give a split
Okay. Like,
sleeper time. So,
I think I know what you're talking about. I started working last summer for the first time at a tier 1 imports. They have them.
right, so I like that.
Yeah. So I was working at tier 1 imports. First time working in retail. I worked in other stuff before. That's my first time in retail. And we have a truck that comes in every Thursday. So I know what you're talking about. So basically, if something goes a little bit wrong with the speed of unloading the truck, they have to have the ability to be flexible in their logging. And it's not because they want to. It's because that's just how it ends up working out. You really can't calculate that.
Maybe you guys' forklift is broke down. You can't get the stuff off. So, it could be any variety of reasons. And we don't think the driver should be penalized. He should be able to have a way to adjust his clock so that he doesn't have to go into violation because something unforeseen happened.
What does violation mean?
Violation means if you go over 11 hours driving, you go into violation and you can be ticketed for violating the hours of service.
Is that the only punishment? Just ticketing? Really?
I can't really speak to it because I've never ever been ticketed and I've never had to go through it, and I haven't done the research to know exactly.
Is that that's a fine?
Yeah, it would be a fine, I'm assuming.
So are you working with anybody right now that's helping with this issue? Like a congressperson or a senator or anybody who's working with you to change the law or get it
Well,
adjusted or anything?
me in particular,
Well, the organization.
Right.
the
Well,
10-4 truckers.
excuse me.
10-4 truckers.
Well, 10-4 is designed to be a platform, not a group. So 10-4 isn't going to lobby for a particular.
Okay.
10-4 is an event to bring people that are concerned about the rules and regulations. This is designed to be an event where you come to talk to other people. Like you guys have come here today, but you want to talk to truckers and you want to get their input so that you can better, see what their needs are. Right. That's the whole thing that this is about, is to work with the public and also meet with your congressman and explain to them what you're doing so that they have a complete understanding. We want to take away them only having to hear only the mega companies having their ear. We want to have their ear too. And we see a nice gathering here with a lot of supporters and people that, those politicians all want the working class on their side. And we see ourselves as working class. And if we can create that platform that can bring all those people together, then those congressmen will be coming to our platform to talk to the working class.
Yeah, that's actually. And I have another question.
Would you like a fire?
What's like an interest of the mega carriers
Fire?
that's distinct from like the little guy who has like 8 trucks or even a solo like he owns his own truck and just drives it? What's the difference? Like what would they want that like working class truckers wouldn't want?
Well, they wanted the electronic logging mandate because most of the mega fleets had already been operating on the ELDs. Because they have such poor training
I'm gonna go feed the meter.
they have to keep a constant eye on their newbies. The new drivers, they need to, so they were already forced into having to have ELDs in some cases. And in other cases, they just put them in their trucks because, like I said, because of the inexperience, they wanted to keep track of the drivers. It was easier for them to make everything work. But so they already worked with the ELD, and they already had that. So then when they lobbied Congress to say, no, you need to put them in everybody's truck.
Yeah, so that
And
everyone has to do it.
That everybody has to do it. You need to even the playing field. And what they were saying, and that's what these guys feel they were saying, is that we need to even the playing field because you guys are more efficient than us. And because you're more efficient than us, we're going to take your efficiency out of the game. You're not allowed to be more efficient.
Why would they use ELD?
They're less efficient because they have inexperienced drivers and a high turnover rate.
So it's cheaper.
And it's cheaper, right? So
Okay.
they can employ somebody cheaper than what a lot of these guys.
Okay, so it's cheaper, but it's less efficient.
I don't know that.
Okay.
I don't know their structure. I'm
Well, no,
not
no,
speaking
no.
to their-
I assume that what you're saying
What
it
I'm-
makes
what I'm-
perfect sense.
What I'm trying to explain is that the ELD mandate it didn't hurt them because their business models already operated on them. Whether they had to implement them because of their safety violations or they just did it because of just being able to help keep track of the young drivers. I'm not sure because like I said, I wasn't in there. I don't know all their structure. But through that, now they've lobbied Congress now because they all use the ELD. They think that all the independents and small fleets should have to use the ELD. Well, that you shouldn't, just because it's something you want, you shouldn't be able to lobby, it should be freedom of choice. We always liken it to a breathalyzer. Because you go out and drink and drive, and you've been given a penalty because you drank and drive, so you have to have a breathalyzer. Okay, that's fine. You broke the rules. We say, if you're going to put an ELD in my truck, at least catch me breaking the rules. We say, okay, now you have to have an ELD because you've been warned, you didn't comply. Now now you have to pay now you have to do
So if you go over like the 11-hour limit, then you get an ELD. Would be like more reasonable.
Well, like I say, yeah, it would be. That would be a very small infraction. I wouldn't think. Normally, I know from what I know, Warner they were going to pull Warner back. I think it was the late '80s because of the amount of accidents and just how bad their safety ratings were. And Warner had to give. I don't know if the FMCSA was in existence at that time, but Warner had to also, so they wouldn't stop them from being able to do business, they had to come up with a countermeasure. And their countermeasure was we'll put ELDs in our trucks, we'll keep a closer eye on our drivers. That way we don't have to, go out of business or whatever. And that was a good enough solution for the FMCSA, I believe, at the time. And that's so now that's the one thing that's kind of ironic. It's because Warner says they're the pioneers of electronic
Would
logbook.
you like
So
a
they're one of the
flyer or
very
a
first
business card
companies
or
to
a
go all
sticker?
electronic logbook.
Or
But they kind of hide the reason why. Because their safety ratings were so bad, they said we're going to pull your numbers, you're not going to be able to move freight, or you're going to
So
do
it does,
something
So
to-
it does make it a bit safer. Like ELDs are like,
Well,
at least
and,
associated.
no, and maybe in the respect of a new driver and keeping an eye on him and him not, you know, to me, I don't see it as being safer. I don't even
I think
think it's
we're
necessarily
volunteers to
safer
work
in
here
my
however
opinion.
long we want to be.
If you're monitoring me, because the only way you're safer is if you're in the seat next to me watching me.
I,
So you
I was
can,
like, when do you need
coach
people?
me,
I can
you know what I
come
mean?
in
Yeah,
between
yeah.
9 and 5, and they were like,
Definitely.
come between 11 and 2, and I was
so
like, okay.
it's hard to discern. You know, I mean, what ELD does is it makes less logbook violations. That's what the ELD does. It makes less logbook violations, whether it's intentional violations or unintentional. But ELD has not made the road safer. That's the one thing that they can show hands down with the statistics now. That since the ELD was implemented, all the fatality rates and everything.
Okay.
So,
So
Petty short for Theodore.
The only thing that
Then
went
just
down
Petty.
was
Oh,
logbook
it's
then
Petty.
was the
Okay.
reason maybe that you're saying
Well,
they
I mean,
implemented
it's
ELDs and
really
they have less
Theodore.
I don't know how many safety violations.
I'm not-
All I know is that the current administration that had allowed them to keep operating in their fix was to put ELDs in their truck. So, and then that became, from my understanding is that became the go-to for the other companies when they were, you know, having their safety ratings go up. Then they just went to the ELDs to you know.
Yeah, that's right here.
So they switched.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So they switched plans because they had
Oh, never
ELDs.
mind.
They shouldn't be
But
getting
that's
for safety.
They claimed that they were the pioneers of the ELD and used it as a badge of pride. When it'd be like me saying, being the first guy ever to be given a breathalyzer because, you know, okay, we got this new technology now, and you were caught drinking and driving, and you're gonna have to. So now if I say, oh, I'm a pioneer of the breathalyzer, you know,
I see.
that's kind of where
That's a good one.
they're taking credit for this ELD. It was a thing that was given to them.
I can sign right too. You know,
And
my
it,
license.
and
Why
it only
can't?
improves
But
safety.
Oh,
for them,
someone
but
to
they have
look
to live
endorse
there.
it?
Drive.
Right. It's mainly because just like you keep an eye
you
on
need
the
someone
truck,
to endorse it.
you know, because they haven't gained
or like a real person.
enough experience yet. They don't know the whole world, and that, not to belittle a new guy that's coming into the industry, but
But why did they have to
he's
be
not
here?
ready. All he's going to counter with that.
And I think a problem with the people over there is
There's nothing
they
you
don't
can
really
take home.
see.
They have
Like,
to be here.
I mean, I've lived
You
in
have
BC
to-
for over a
you
year
have to
now.
have witnesses.
They kind of look at
So,
people
who's
who
a
are like, they're
legitimate
like, oh,
witness?
you know,
I
there's
hope you don't
truck
mind my
drivers,
asking, 'cause I
there's,
have like 5 or 6
industrial
friends that
workers,
actually
there's, like,
would sign
people
this,
working
but
in
I
steel mill.
probably
And they're
wouldn't
like, all
be
right,
able to
there's
get
all
them
these people who are
to
truck
an event.
drivers.
Yeah,
And
now
they don't recognize that, like, there's
Oh,
different groups
okay.
of truck drivers.
Right.
Like,
But
there's
can I
new truck
grab one of
drivers
these?
who
Is
might
that-
need an ELD.
I'm not-
Then there's like
Well,
people who've been in the industry for
Right.
30 years. So why would you mandate they have an ELD? They're just doing what's best.
If he's never had any safety violations, if he hasn't had bad, you know what I mean? There should be a standard that says, okay, at this point, you're not a responsible driver, so we're going to need to keep a better eye.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But until you know, have, you know, shown that, why should you have to incur all this extra expense and be tracked and everything else? Don't get me wrong, tracking is everyone's right. I mean, if you want to ship something and you want it to be tracked, you make that a requirement. But me as a carrier, I have a choice whether or not I want to take that load. You want me to be
Yeah,
tracked
so
on that load? Okay,
we're
well,
gonna
I'll
every Pro
need to
National
find somebody-
Gang
I'll
Day
take
that
someone else's.
Okay, so for
So
like the
we're all
low
about
down-
everybody's First Amendment right. before
Exactly.
Whatever, you know,
yeah,
it's your
so
right.
something
to
that you know, Passion Kagi, you know her on
That's
everybody
like
told her.
yeah, but anyhow,
Yes, she and
you have the right to
Films.
choose. I have the right to choose.
Yeah,
You know, and until I've done something wrong,
Okay.
why make me have a penalty? And that's what it is. You know, it's just something that has not really done anything but make less logbook violations.
So I mean, even if here's a good argument that I think is like against ELDs is like even if they do help, in some cases, like even if they are safer for like new truckers and they make things safer, there's no reason to mandate it across the board.
Right.
Like there's no reason.
There's no reason to mandate it across the board. It's right. It just like, you know, I live in the state of Ohio. In Ohio, I have, if I get a motorcycle endorsement, I have to drive for 2 years with a motorcycle helmet. After that 2 years, it's my choice whether or not I wear a motorcycle helmet. But that's because during that time I'm getting familiar with the bike.
Yeah, that makes
Then
perfect
after that, I have a choice if I want to wear the helmet or not. But they mandate that I wear the helmet the first 2 years. I don't think there's many drivers here that would be opposed to, you know, having a driver have to prove himself to be responsible, then to be able to be responsible. You know, to give him that leeway to be responsible.
And that's a good compromise between safety and freedom of choice.
Right.
I think that's a great way to look at it.
hmm And that's what we lobby for. We just think that you look at the guy's safety record, you'd have to set up whatever standards those would have to be. But if he's got a bad safety standard, maybe he has to run an ELD.
Do you
If
know?
he's good.
Do you know when the ELD mandate was? I don't know.
2017.
Okay. so
I
it's
think it was
pretty-
December 18th of 2017 when it went into effect.
Is that nationally?
Yes.
Like it's.
Now, that was a light, I can't remember how they described it. It wasn't a full, like, if you don't have one in your truck, we're going to cite you. It was, this is the date you're supposed to have it in by, and then it's kind of a soft, like, launch date, you know, and then they said by April 9th, I think it was April 9th, you had to be in full compliance.
Okay.
Or
They
they-
gave you like a.
Right. So there's a little bit of a grace period.
And do you have to buy your own ELD?
Yes, they have to buy it, and it can, from what I understand, it can be anywhere from like $600 to $1,000 or $1,500 to for the ELD, and then you have the install, and then you also have the maintenance of the device, monthly maintenance fees too, because the tracking fees and all that come with a service that they have to pay for
So
every
it's
month.
mandated and you pay for it.
Right, it's mandated and they pay for it. Right, all of it. And
That makes no sense.
And that's another reason why somebody that's done nothing wrong does not. I mean, why do I have to pay for something when I haven't done the problem?
Yeah, like so if mega carriers are gonna pay for those anyway, there's no reason to like have like the few people who are like running their own truck
Right.
have it have
And
ELD.
I might be a little off on these numbers, but from what I understand, there's only something like 300,000 independent owner operators,
Yeah.
and the most of that other number
Yeah, I think you're exactly right.
is, you know, small fleets and in the big mega corporations.
350,000. You're almost dead on.
Right.
There you go.
So, you know, it's not. We're not talking about a huge number of people. That, you know what I mean? I'm not saying they're the only people that will be affected. Just the owner operator or the independents, because there's a lot of great company drivers too that are very responsible. It needs to be whatever for everybody. You know, just it goes by your record.
So,
or your
some
company's
more,
record.
It's a more
I guess.
personal question I have here. If you decided to go back into trucking, like personally, like get your own truck and just do trucking because it's fulfilling to you, would you do it would you still do it if ELDs were mandated, or would it change your choice to do it?
I would probably still do it if that was really what my heart was, you know, because it's, you know, if I guess I'm looking at it from a different point of view, because I have thought about it going back into trucking when I retire, and but I have a pension, so I won't have to go out and run like some of these guys that support families. My family will be raised, and I'll just be getting a pension check and taking a load here and there just to get some extra money.
I think
That's kind of my vision, you know, is being that guy that you can call me at a moment's notice. I'll take something that might pay, and then but if it don't pay, I'm not going to take it because I don't have to. So I would be in a different boat than a lot of these guys.
it's a little more ridiculous. But
That's
what
like
do you do in
that's
in
like
in
the
a truck?
$1,000 a month.
What do you personally do? Like, how do you kill time in the truck? Do you listen to music? Do you?
But yeah, you listen to music and you talk to guys on the CB, and a lot of guys don't talk on the CB anymore. But these guys here are the CB talkers.
Cool. That's fun.
Believe me, they all want to.
I'm just curious. You know.
Yep.
That's
And
interesting.
they've really changed the culture with all the mega fleets
really don't.
doing the H-1B visa program. I don't know how up on that stuff you are. That's something that really needs to be screamed from rooftops, because that's like modern day indentured servitude.
What the contracts they have with like small drivers?
No, they actually send recruiters to foreign countries to get the poorest people they can recruit, to send them to America on H-1B visas to come drive trucks. They get into America, and then they only have that truck. They don't have anything else. They just And now the only way they get to stay in America is because that company that brought them into America to drive that truck sponsor. So if they don't sponsor them, then they have to go back there. So here you get this person into the country and you tell them they're going to get in this great truck and all this and that, and then he goes out and you just use the hell out of him because he doesn't know any better.
And because they'll really
In most
they're willing to do
cases,
anything to get here.
in most cases, the guys on the H-1Bs are not literate as far as the English language, being able to read and
I
write.
know, right?
So they can't understand what's going on with the road signs a lot of times, and that's not their fault. But what that does is that makes them be able to be subjected to by the companies when they don't understand our laws. They don't know what responsibilities are being put on them, and what they could end up going to prison in some cases for some of the violations that they may or may not, end up doing. And we want them to understand, and we don't want them to be able to be taken. It's not that we're against the H-1B visa program, but we also feel that there should be some way of stopping, that kind of abuse.
Maybe stop a company from sponsoring someone
Right.
coming
Or don't make it a contingent that at least let me be able to leave the country, stay in America, but drive for a different company.
Uh-huh.
That gives that immigrant or that
yeah.
H-1B visa guy an option. He
That's very
doesn't
true.
have
That's a good
to
idea.
just worry and live in fear in the truck that he's going to get sent back.
That's a good
And-
point, yeah.
and
Then they can compete for that later
Right.
instead of just,
So now we created an atmosphere where they're competing. So all right, this guy, he might find out from someone else, and that's one thing that we wanted to do here because there's a whole immigrant population out there that we can't get to. That these mega corporations don't have them put CBs in their trucks. In some cases, they don't even allow them to, and it's because they don't want them to learn. They want to keep them in their bubble and not let them know what's all going on out there.
It's pretty big brothery.
Right.
It's very kind of scary, actually.
And all we want to see is if you bring a guy in on a visa, he should not be just tied to that company. I'm not saying that he should be able to come in and then just vanish into the woodwork, but when he's sponsored by a company, that company's responsible for him. Now you've opened it up for that company to take advantage of him, especially when he doesn't know our laws and our
See,
ways.
these are like issues like I would never know.
Right.
exist.
And we could go on and
And that's-
believe me.
That's something that you'd think is common sense, but you know that there's people who are lobbying for it.
Right, they do lobby for it because it works for them, and they put these drivers in there, and then they're basically captive.
So not just
And-
do they have that as their labor force, which is cheaper, easier to control, things like that, but they want to mandate that people who are solo drivers that pay all their own costs also have to have ELDs. Oh, shows the
You get those occasional.
keep it if you want. It's a Yang buck. Yeah, we just get these gusts every here and there.
Mine blew away last year.
Your entire thing blew away?
Yeah. Well, we took it down this year because we were going to lose it.
We gotta have like an anchor.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, honestly, we're just like digging into the ground.
That's why I was going to tell you guys to bring weights.
Yeah, we should have.
I poured
know,
my
next
own.
year.
You
Hi.
got the water
Hello,
jugs.
hello.
No, I poured concrete weights.
Oh, you poured concrete.
The kid in the container.
Yes, sir. We're not truckers with us here, but
No, this is all.
he's a former trucker.
No, we're supporting the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Huh. So like,
You guys want any
I'm gonna bring it full circle.
brochures
Because
or?
like, we're here for you.
Yeah, real deal.
Do you think like,
they have different.
let's say
He is in the
ELDs
primary.
stay,
He's been in
stay,
3
stay
debates
on
already.
Stay mandated.
I know that, but I mean,
Say that they remain something they mandate.
Oh, you
Like
mean
in
if he
your,
wins
in
the
your
primary
case, you
election?
like find limited truck. Like you enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. A lot of people don't understand it because
Oh yeah,
I'm actually on my
yeah.
vacation
He'll
right
be
now
there. He'll
from
be on the
my
primary
job.
ballot.
And I came here with them
We're gonna make it happen.
to
It's
promote
not
this
awesome. I think that's really admirable.
So, but for me, it's fulfilling that part of me because I'm a second generation. My dad was a truck driver, and as my dad, as I was, I lost my dad when I was 6 years old. So those first years of my life as developing, that was everything. He was everything to me, and that truck was a symbol of him.
That's cool.
I guess it's just something that I retained, something I shared with him, and then later on.
Well, he takes his ideas and flips them. Like instead of "Make America Great Again," it's "Make
That's the
America
kind of
Think
thing
Harder." Right?
where people get
instead of
fulfillment in
America
something that
first,
might
it's
not
humanity
be
first.
like having your own truck.
Yeah. So he takes them
Doing
and kind of like
trucking runs might not be like.
Alright.
Well, for me, that truck
Like the
is the
opposite,
exact
really.
same truck my dad had. That's why I bought that truck. So,
See, and
And
you're
that
not, you're
was
not
the way
really
of
you're
saving
not
a
doing
piece
it
of
to
dad.
compete. You're not doing it to
Right.
compete with like a mega carrier.
right, I was just doing it to save a piece of my dad.
So something like a freedom dividend, like what Yang wants to do is his main proposal is like UBI, $1,000 a month.
Okay.
And I'm not going all like political on you here because you're like obviously like this is more meaningful to you than like who you're voting for.
Right.
But like something like that would give truckers who have the same sort of passion like you the freedom to run their truck and compete without having to like do it just for fun.
Right.
Like you can run it break even if you wanted to.
Right.
And like
And that's what we're about. Is just the 10-4 is about bringing those people together and listening to both sides of the story and seeing if there's a way that listen to the other guy's argument, explain how that can work for me, and maybe that is. For me, I don't know because I really don't know enough where you get the money and all that. It's a big conversation, but for another day. But, it's just we want to encourage everybody to work together because that's the only way we really fix things is with everybody's involvement. Because you might have part of the right idea, I might have part of the right idea.
Yeah.
And together, collectively, we may come up with an idea that neither one of us actually,
do you have a son? Do you have a son?
yeah.
Is he into trucking?
No. I'll explain that. They're stepsons. And
Okay.
so
That's
I got
fine.
with them later in life. And so, they're not as big into the truck stuff like me. Although my youngest, he is a real car nut. So he likes to get in. He's a little bit of a motorhead.
Nice. Cool. So it may be carried on in some
Yeah, he's.
way.
It breaks my heart, but I don't
some
push
things-
it on him.
Some things skip a generation.
I don't
where
push
like,
it on him.
Where like maybe the grandkids will be into it, because they skip.
Yeah. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Nice.
I'm hoping that Grandpa can spend a lot of time with the little guy. And he gets the same passion that this other little guy got,
How old are your kids?
Well, he's in OSU right now.
OSU?
Yeah, he's
Ohio State.
21,
My friend just went to Ohio State this year.
I think he's 21 right now, actually.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, the older
And then
one's
we're just,
Man, so that's pretty good. You're pretty simple.
I'm hopefully done and I'll start keeping my money.
Yeah, no doubt. That's nice. I'm glad to hear that you survived your escapade in the trucking industry. Good talking to you.
Yep, appreciate you guys' involvement with you.
Bring it in, Yang Gang. Yang Gang is full of love. Yang Gang is full of love. We're here to learn.
Yep,
So-
that's what we're about.
So this was with Fred, and he helped organize the 10-4 convoy this weekend. So one more day, Saturday. They're going to be in Virginia, and what's the fairground again in Virginia, Fred?
Fredericksburg Agricultural Fairgrounds in Virginia.
Okay, tomorrow. So come join them you're gonna have some food there.
Right, there's a barbecue. It's a food bank benefit. This barbecue costs $15. That's all to help the food bank, but it's a really good barbecue, all you can eat. They have a band, they have beer tents, and along with that, I don't remember how they're doing the beer. Last year there was tickets along with that price, but they lowered the price, so you might pay for beer tickets. I don't know.
Either way, Yang Gang's gonna keep on trucking, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks again, Fred.
Thank you.
Here, you want me to end this thing?